I did a video talking about the laws that Donald Trump breaks when he operates outside of what is legally allowed. And somebody said, are you a lawyer? And I made another video saying, no, I'm not a lawyer, but I don't need to be a lawyer to understand that this is against the law, and he just did this. So therefore, he violated the law. Enter this guy. By the way, when you hear his words and you go take a look at his profile picture and shit like that, I know a million guys just like this. I got guys like this in my family. Okay? I know exactly what kind of a fucking clown we're dealing with here. You are not a lawyer, but you sure get on here and act like one. You remind me of my nasty-ass, loudmouth, fat-ass uncle that could not keep his mouth shut and thought he knew everything. You know exactly the kind of guy we're dealing with here, don't you? Yes, I know exactly. I've got too many people like this, or have had too many people like this in my lifetime not to be able to spot this kind of douche. Okay, so I remind you of somebody in your family that you don't like. You don't like what I have to say. You don't like my opinions. You don't like my appearance. You don't like the things that I post on social media. Yet you keep watching my content enough to be able to come up with this summation that I don't know what I'm talking about, and I remind you a lot of somebody in your family. Why don't you just fucking scroll? Haven't figured out that feature yet, pumpkin? Little too difficult of a task for you at this point in life? You take this part of your finger, or any finger. I know you guys typically like to do your videos from like down here, maybe take the head of your schwanz, whatever it is that you need to use, and you lightly press it against the screen and you go, and then you don't have to see it. I don't have to remind you of somebody you don't like. You don't have to get annoyed at my opinions or the sound of my voice. You don't have to interact with me in any way, shape, or form, but you sure couldn't fucking stop yourself from doing so, could you? You fucking guys will never make sense to me. You choose to be miserable by watching content of and interacting with people you don't like. What does that say about your mental capacity? What does it say that you can't not watch and interact with content of people you don't like? You're a fucking fan, boo-boo. You can't stop. If your uncle was the annoying one that drove you nuts and I remind you of him, good. Makes my day a little bit brighter. If you can't figure out the scroll option, have a child help you. Maybe then you'll be able to not annoy yourself on a daily basis. See you tomorrow, boo-boo.